It all started with a latte, and not just any latte, Meghan Markle's now infamous lavender gray latte, a drink that sounded less like a beverage and more like something you'd find in a Bath & Body Works candle aisle. She served it proudly to Tan France, her so-called new friend, who she had never even met before inviting him onto her failing Netflix show. That moment set the tone for everything. Because here's the tea, Meghan doesn't really have friends. She has guests, props, placeholders in her never-ending PR game. While Meghan was busy pretending her herbal milk and fruit platters were groundbreaking cuisine, Taylor Swift was out here making real moves, the kind that break the internet. Meghan dropped the second season of With Love, Meghan, hoping for a trending spot on Netflix. Instead, crickets. Meanwhile, Taylor casually announced her engagement to NFL superstar Travis Kelce, a bombshell that instantly took over headlines. And let's be real, that timing wasn't a coincidence. Taylor's team is a machine. Every Instagram post, every Easter egg, every announcement is surgically calculated. So when Taylor dropped her engagement news hours after Meghan's big comeback season premiered, it was a perfectly timed sledgehammer to Meghan's carefully staged spotlight. The fallout? Meghan was furious, fuming. Sources close to her say she felt completely upstaged, as if Taylor had ripped away the one thing Meghan craves most: attention. She'd spent months prepping that show. 80 crew members, glossy kitchens, overpriced wrapping paper, all built to create the illusion of warmth and authenticity. And yet, with a single Instagram post, Taylor erased it all. Overnight, the media shifted. Meghan's lavender latte was yesterday's news, and Taylor's diamond ring was today's obsession. But this wasn't just professional humiliation. This was personal. Meghan's jealousy of Taylor runs far deeper than most people realize. It's not just about fame, beauty, or money. Meghan envies Taylor's power. Taylor doesn't need royal titles to command headlines. She doesn't need to marry into legacy to matter. Taylor is the legacy. She built an empire from scratch, turned heartbreak into platinum, made herself a billionaire, and still comes across as real, relatable, and admired. That right there is what eats Meghan alive. Despite all the branding, the glossy interviews, the titles, Meghan still hasn't cracked the code to genuine admiration. And it shows. Look at her awkward interactions on camera. With Tan France, she interrupted, corrected, even mocked him. She actually joked he must have had too much coffee because he was full of beans. Imagine insulting your own guest because they had more charisma than you. That's not confidence, that's insecurity. And it's a pattern. Mindy Kaling, Chrissy Teigen, anyone with real presence ends up subtly undermined. Meghan doesn't collaborate, she competes, even with her guests. So when someone like Taylor sweeps in and dominates the cultural conversation without even trying, Meghan loses it. Because that kind of effortless influence, it's everything she wants but can't manufacture. Tan France wasn't the problem, he was the mirror. Relaxed, charming, genuinely likable. When he casually pulled off his sweater mid-filming, tossed it aside, and started making French toast like he owned the kitchen, Meghan flinched. Her smile was big, her clap was loud, but the tension in her eyes gave it away. She was losing control, and control is everything to Meghan. That's why she monograms children's names on gift bags for people she doesn't even know. That's why she buys books for her guests' kids before ever meeting them. It's not generosity. It's branding, image, the illusion of warmth. But when someone genuine shows up, that illusion crumbles. Even her banter was tinged with passive aggression. When Tan brought his natural enthusiasm, she cut in with that jab, "You're full of beans. Not playful, not kind." A disguised swipe. To his credit, Tan brushed it off with grace, saying he's just naturally enthusiastic. But the damage was done. Meghan has a habit of making compliments sound like insults, and questions sound like traps. And the way she overshares? Completely scripted. She randomly blurted out that she and Harry fell in love on the third date in a tent in Botswana. Who says that during a cooking segment? Unless you're deliberately fishing for a viral headline. She even slipped in that "Harry said I love you" first line. Every anecdote, every soundbite, a chess move, not a memory. And don't even get me started on the food. Lavender lattes, fruit platters, French toast, the same recycled dishes dressed up like Michelin star cuisine. When Tan tried to add flair with coconut and cayenne, she stiffened. She faked enthusiasm. Fabulous, I love that. But her tone said the opposite. How dare someone else innovate in her spotlight? Then came her favorite phrase, "my husband." She must have said it a dozen times in one episode. Not Harry, not he. Always, "my husband." It didn't sound affectionate. It sounded possessive, like a verbal trophy. A reminder to viewers of the prize she snagged, even as the shine of that title fades. And of course, there was wine. Always wine. Meghan sipping her quiet little escape while pretending to care about her guests' stories. Because the truth is, resentment lingers behind every glass. Resentment that her brand is fading while women like Taylor Swift rise higher than ever. Taylor didn't marry into power, she built it. From giving her tour crew a $50 million bonus to setting records with every album, Taylor uplifts the people around her. Meghan, on the other hand, burned bridges, staff quitting in droves, even her own family estranged. Former palace employees literally call themselves the Sussex Survivors Club. That's not a joke, that's their nickname. And don't forget, Taylor once turned Meghan down. Meghan sent her a handwritten letter, possibly in calligraphy, begging her to appear on Archetypes. Taylor didn't even bother replying personally. Her team sent a polite, "No thanks." To Meghan, it wasn't just rejection, it was betrayal. Ever since, Taylor has lived rent-free in Meghan's head. Taylor didn't clap back, didn't drag Meghan, didn't even acknowledge the drama, she just kept winning. Billionaire status, stadium tours, now engaged to an American sports hero, every headline Taylor owns is another reminder to Meghan of the difference between real influence and desperate branding. And that's why Meghan's terrified. Terrified she'll be remembered not for talent, but for how quickly she burned bridges and botched opportunities. Let's be blunt. Meghan's projects all follow the same doomed script. A massive launch, flashy PR, headlines everywhere, and then silence. Archetypes was supposed to be her empire-building podcast. Spotify pulled the plug. Her Netflix series, Season 2 didn't even break into the trending list despite 80 staff working behind the scenes to make it look homemade. And notice something, Meghan isn't doing the usual press rounds. No Fallon, no Kimmel, no Good Morning America. Why? Because no one wants her. There's no demand, no buzz. Instead, she's stuck with a soft, awkward interview on Bloomberg of all places. Bloomberg, a financial network, not exactly the hub of lifestyle branding or celebrity promo. That move alone screams desperation. Even The Guardian, on a paper that usually bends over backward for her kind of progressive narrative, slammed her Netflix show as abysmal television. If they are jumping ship, Meghan's really adrift. And here's the kicker, Meghan knows it. That's why she was boiling over when Taylor Swift stole her thunder. Because deep down, she realizes her brand is unraveling while Taylor's keeps soaring. Think about it. Taylor Swift doesn't just dominate music, she dominates culture. She's got Eras Tour sellouts, billion-dollar valuations, fan loyalty stronger than royalty. She gave away $50 million in bonuses to her crew, making headlines for generosity while Meghan's former staffers whisper about bullying and burnout. Taylor turns heartbreak into platinum. Meghan turns opportunities into rubble. The contrast is brutal, and Meghan can't take it. Because every time Taylor levels up, it highlights Meghan's failures. Taylor's engagement wasn't just a personal win, it was a cultural moment. The kind Meghan has been chasing, faking, and staging for years, but never quite catching. That's why Meghan wasn't just annoyed. She was enraged. In her world, everything is a competition. And the worst part? Taylor isn't even competing. She's just living, and her life outshines Meghan's every calculated move. So what's left for Meghan Markle? If you believe the insiders, divorce is looming. Not just any divorce, but a strategic one. People close to her whisper that she's eyeing billionaire shopping, that if she can't outshine Taylor through talent, she'll try to outmarry her. Someone older, richer, more powerful. Names like Rupert Murdoch or Warren Buffett get tossed around half joking, half serious. Because Meghan isn't about love, she's about leverage. And she'll never give up the Duchess of Sussex title. Even if Harry walks away, she'll sign books and autographs with it, milk it for every ounce of status. Because at the end of the day, Meghan didn't just want to be a duchess, she wanted to be a queen. But sorry, Meghan, that crown, it already belongs to Taylor Swift. This isn't your typical celebrity spat. It's not two divas fighting over press coverage. This is Meghan versus reality, because no matter how many lavender lattes she whisks up or how many "my husband" sound bites she drops, she can't manufacture what Taylor has. Genuine admiration. Taylor doesn't need titles. She doesn't need to marry into relevance. She built hers brick by brick, heartbreak by heartbreak. That's real. That's earned. And Meghan can't stand it. That's why she's bitter. Why she lashes out. Why she turns every guest into competition. Because Taylor represents everything Meghan wanted to be and failed to become. Let's not forget the Archetypes rejection. Meghan thought her handwritten letter would seal the deal. She even pulled out her calligraphy skills, convinced Taylor would jump at the chance to be part of her brand. Taylor's response? Silence. Her team sent back a polite, "No thanks." For Meghan, that was war. But here's the twist. The war only existed in her head. Taylor never fired back, never clapped back. She didn't need to. She just kept rising. $1 billion tour, one cultural milestone, one diamond engagement ring at a time. That silence was louder than any feud. And Meghan knows it. Look around. The cracks are everywhere. Her podcast, gone. Her Netflix ratings, tanked. Her public image, too divisive for entertainment, too boring for news. She's trapped in a no man's land of fading relevance. Her projects are launched like royal processions and end like ghost towns. Headlines one week, forgotten the next. Even her most loyal media allies are walking away. And as the world moves on, Meghan's rage only grows, because nothing is more painful to her than irrelevance. And nothing makes her feel more irrelevant than Taylor Swift. Taylor doesn't need to clap back. She doesn't need to shade Meghan, doesn't need to post cryptic lyrics. Her life is the shade. Every time she drops an album, sells out a stadium, or casually breaks the internet with an engagement, she's reminding Meghan of the gap between them. And Meghan hates it, because it's not just that Taylor wins, it's that she wins without trying. The power Meghan craves, Taylor has it naturally. In Meghan's fantasy world, she's the cultural queen, the icon, the one women admire and men chase. But in reality, that seat is taken, and the woman sitting on that throne is Taylor Swift. Meghan can pour lavender lattes, stage glossy kitchen sets, and call Harry my husband 1,000 times. None of it will change the truth. The real crown doesn't belong to Meghan, it belongs to Taylor, and that's why Meghan Markle is furious, because deep down, she knows she never stood a chance. She never stood a chance.